Alright, so today we're going to talk about solving inequalities and then using addition and subtraction to do that. So as a warm-up, graph these three inequalities to kind of review what we did last time. Alright, so you want to start by putting 0. And then we're going to add in our numbers to our graphs. Okay, so the first one, we have x is greater than or equal to 10. So again, we have that equals to sign, so we know we're going to have a solid circle at 10. Then you want to figure out, do we want numbers bigger than 10 or do we want numbers smaller than 10 to show you what your arrow goes. With this, we're bigger than 10. We have the big side of our inequality next to the x, so we want bigger than 10. If we have the 8 is less than x, well, there's no equals to, so we have to have an open circle. And then we're trying to figure out, is x bigger than 8 or less than 8? So again, x here is next to the big side of our inequality, so x has to be bigger than whatever this is, so we want to go this direction. For this one, we have negative 13 is greater than y, so again, there's no equals to, so we need an open circle. And then we're trying to figure out, is y bigger than this number or less than this number? Well, y is on the small side of our inequality, so it needs to be the smaller number, so we have to go this direction. So, some examples here. You have a phone that has an internal storage of 32 gigabytes. You currently have 17 gigabytes of music, movies, photos, apps, all that kind of stuff on your phone's hard drive. We want to write an inequality that shows the storage space S that you have remaining. So you know you have a total of 32, right? And you can never have more than that on your phone. So whatever's on your phone has to be less than or equal to 32 because that's the maximum amount you have. So this is what's left. You know you already have 17 gigabytes. So we know we already have 17, and then we need to add on whatever this leftover chunk is. So if we want to solve this, we can solve this exactly like we would a normal equation. We can drop our equal sign, our line down, and we're just going to keep that inequality coming down instead of an equal sign. You can subtract 17 from both sides, and then we still have our less than or equal to. We get S, and then 32 minus 17 is 15. So here we have S is less than or equal to 15. So you have 15 gigabytes or less remaining on your device. All right, so we're thinking about this. We want to think, are these true or false? So take a hot second and think about those on your own, and then we'll talk about it. All right, this one is true. Negative 10 is less than negative 3. Here we're saying is 12 less than 11. Again, you want the big side has to be the big number. Well, that's the smaller number, so this one is false. Okay, so when we're adding and subtracting inequalities, and you do it to both sides, so keeping your equation even like we did before, the inequality keeps the same truth value, so it stays the same. You don't need to change the sign. We'll come back to this in the next video when we talk about multiplications and division. So some examples of solving inequalities, and then we'll graph them at the end. We can draw our line like we did before. If this was an equal sign, we'd subtract 18, so I'm going to do that. And we get m is less than 30 minus 18, or 12. So your answer, if I make this a little shorter, would be m is less than 12. Graph that, we put 0 and 12. We're less than, so it's an open circle. And here we're on the small side of our 12, so we want to go this direction. Same idea on this next one. I'm going to drop my line down, subtract 2/3, subtract 2/3. And then at this point, you're welcome to use a calculator and do the fraction button, or you can do it by hand. But you'll get t is less than 10/3 from here. So how we did that, if I do it in a different color, we want to do it by hand. We need to get a common denominator on this 4. So we have 4 minus 2/3. I'm going to multiply this by 3 over 3. So you'd get 12 over 3 minus 2/3, which then gives you the 10/3. So your answer again is t is less than 10/3. So if we graph that, put 0. 10/3 is positive. We don't have an equals to sign, so I'm going to be an open circle. And then we're on the small end, so we're less than, we're going to go this way. So try these two on your own, and then we'll talk about them. All right, so drop your line down. Add 8, add 8. You get 20 is greater than or equal to y. So you can leave it like that, or you can write your answer by flipping the inequality and your numbers. So if you graph that, you do 0, 20. We have an equals to sign right here, so we want a solid circle. And then y is on the small end, so next to the pointy part of your symbol, so we want to be less than. Here, same idea, we'll add a half. And you'll get q is greater than, and this will end up being 5/4. So again, we could multiply this by 2/2 to get your fourths. You'd have 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4 to get this. So this is your answer. Do 0, 5/4 is positive, so we put that over there. We don't have an equals to sign, so you need an open circle. And then we're on the big side of our inequality, so we need to keep going larger. So that's it for today. Your homework is the 3.2 Math Excel.